So in the previous videos we have learned about degrees, and the good thing about degrees is that many times you can find angles in degrees without using fractions, because you can say your angle is 30 degrees, you can say your angle is 45 degrees. You really have to go to the some fraction like 45.5 and things like that, because most of the like half of the circle is 180, quarter of a circle is 90, and so on and so forth. But the thing is that 360 number is an arbitrary number. We could make another maybe a unit of measurement of angles called maybe degree B, in which we can say the total number of degree B on a circle are 4000. So because 360 is also as arbitrary as any other number. It has nothing to do with the properties of the circle. So that's why in mathematics we use radians, because in radians we can find many good properties of the circle. However, the problem with the radians are that radians are mostly in fractions or in decimal. So that's the problem with the radian. But we can always convert radian to degree and degrees to radians. So in this video we're going to first learn what is radians and how can we convert radian to degrees and degrees to radians. So let's start. First of all, we start with circle. What is circumference of a circle? Because without understanding circumference of a circle, we can't understand radians. So we have this circle, and this point is the center of the circle. Now this whole distance, like if let's say I start from here and I go all the way back to this point, this whole distance that I have covered on the edge of the circle, on the boundary of the circle, is called circumference. This is circumference. And circle has a radius. Let's say circle has a radius. Radius is a distance from the center to this edge. So this is called radius, and radius is usually represented with the r. And circle also has diameter. So circle has circumference. Circumference is this distance. It has a radius. Radius is from the center to the edge of the circle. So we have a radius, and we also have a diameter. And diameter is distance from one as part of the circle to the other part of the circle, and the line must pass from the center. So this is our diameter. So this is our diameter from this part to this part, and as long as line is passing through the center of the circle. If this is the diameter, no, because this line has not passed through the center of the circle, right? So diameter is basically 2 times what?
The line passing through the center.
No, this is diameter is 2 times the radius. So we have a radius r, and if we say this is r and this is also r, right? This from here to here we have radius. From here to here we have radius, and this whole thing is what? Diameter. So diameter is equals to what? 2r. Make sense?
Kinda.
So what you have not understood?
Can radius be any line?
So can radius be any line? Yes, radius could be any line as long as that line starts from the center of the circle and touches the boundary of the circle. So if this line that starts from here to here is radius, yes. If this line is radius, yes. They all are of the same length because they are starting from the center and going to the circle, to the edge of the circle. They have the same length. If radius here is, let's say, 3 centimeter, which is not 3 centimeters, more than 3 centimeter, but let's assume it's 3 centimeter, then this will also be 3 centimeter, right? So this is also a radius. If this is radius, yes, this is also radius.
And what about diameter?
And diameter is 2 times radius. That means I start from here to here and then I continue. Then I continue this. And this whole line that starts from the one part of the circle, one edge of the circle to the other edge of the circle, but it must pass from the center, is diameter. So it's like this from here to here is radius. From here to here is also radius. So diameter is 2 times radius. Make sense? right? Okay, that's good. So now what is area? Area is this whole thing inside the circle, right? But we don't concern with the area in this video. We will learn about area later on. We're concerned with the circumference. So circumference formula is 2 pi r. That's the formula of circumference. We know what 2 is a number, right? What r is?
Radius.
R is radius. And what pi is? Pi is also a number which is irrational. We have not yet learned about irrational number, but this is just a number that is in decimal points and that continues forever. So pi is like this. Pi is equals to 3.14159 6535, I think 78, or I forget afterwards, but I think this much is correct, right? So then pi continue forever, and but it's just a 3.14 and then continue forever, and it doesn't repeat itself, right? So this kind of number that doesn't repeat themselves and that continue forever are called irrational numbers. Don't worry, we will learn about irrational number in a later video. So pi, but the thing is this, that for more practical purposes, most of the practical purposes, we can use pi approximate value. We can say pi is approximately equals to what? 3.14. We can find most of the answer using this value. We don't have to use this infinite long number because our calculator is not that big, right? So we can use pi equal to 3.14 because it's a science saying that pi is approximately equals to 3.14. So let's say I give you this circle and I say this circle radius is some unit, but that unit is equals to 5. I don't know what is the 5 centimeter, 5 inches, I don't care. It's just radius is equals to 5, right? Its radius is equals to 5. Then what is the circumference? So we say, what is the circumference, right? So circumference is equals to what? We say formula is 2 pi r. So it's going to be what? 2
pi 5.
What is pi?
Pi 2 3.14.
Not 2. 3.14 is pi.
2 multiplied by 2.
So it's a pi is 3.14 times what? R. R is 5. So we can put these numbers in the calculator. They will be like 6 times 5, 35 point something something, right? And we can find the circumference. Okay. So we know now. Let's say if I say that we don't have a radius, but we have a diameter. So let's say we have a diameter. We say that there we have a circle and we don't know the radius, but we know its diameter. Its diameter is equals to 7. Let's say diameter is equals to 7. What is the circumference? Can you find the circumference? What's the circumference is? 2.7? No.
2 multiplied by 7, I mean.
No.
Or
So
can we like divide
where the
7
pi
with-
goes? Where the pi goes?
Can we divide 7 with 2 to make it half?
So
and then
but we can divide 7 divide 7 by 2, make it a radius, and then we can find our answer. But we don't have to do that because we say that 2 times r is diameter. 2 times r is what? Diameter. So we can just use diameter directly in the formula. What's the formula going to be?
7 multiplied by 5, which is 3.14.
So 7 multiplied by 3.14 is our answer. We don't have to divide with anything. Make sense?
Yes.
So now when you have understood circumference of a circle, so I can describe radians. So I will clear the board and then I will describe what is radians. So now let's describe what is radian. So once again we start with the circle, and now radian is much more mathematically sounded as compared to degree, and we will see why. So we start with the circle, and let's say the circle has a radius r. Circle has a radius r. If we travel on the circle r units, so let's say if we travel on the circle r units, this distance from here to here is, let's say, also r, then this angle is going to be 1 radian. or maybe 1 rad in this case. Okay. So what's this distance is? This is also r. So this is a beautiful circle, beautiful triangle where two sides are r and third side is not r, is maybe less than r because it's in curve it is r. But if we travel on the circle r distance, then the angle between the first ray and the second ray is 1 radian. So we have, if we travel from here to here distance r, then this distance is like 1 radian, right? Then question can be asked that how many radians this whole circle will have.
2 multiplied by pi.
So because, yes, 2 pi, because the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, right? That means we can have r 2 pi times in the whole circle. That means how many radians this circle will have, the number of radians the circle will have is 2 pi, which is approximately equals to 6.28, I think 2 blah blah blah. Right? That much, these many radians we have in the circle. So now what we are saying is that 2 pi is equal to 360, right? Because the whole circle is divided into 360 degrees, and also the whole circle is divided into 2 pi radians, right? So that means if the same circle is from here to here is 360, and the same circle from here to here is 2 pi radians. That means that 2 pi is equals to what? 360, right? What is 180 is equals to? What is 180 is equals to?
Pi.
Pi. So pi is equals to 180 degrees. So, right? And now from here we can find the formula to convert degree into radians and radian into degree. Let's say somebody gives, let's say I have to convert some degree to radians. So I can use these equations to find out that if 180 degree is pi, then maybe x degree is equals to pi by 180 times x. So let's say somebody say what x degree is. I say x degree is equals to pi by 180 times x. That's a formula to find x degree. We will use this formula in a moment, so it will be clear to you. Similarly, we can convert radians to degree. Let's say radians to degree. Once again, we use this formula. And according to this formula, if pi radians is equals to 180, then 1 radian is equals to 180 divided by pi. That means x radian is equals to 180 divided by pi times x. So let's say I have x radians, x, I'm just starting here rad for the time being. Then let's say x radian will be equals to what? Is equals to 180 divided by pi times x. Now let's verify these formulas are correct. So we say what is 360 degrees, and use this formula, right? So question can be asked, what is 360 degrees, and I use this formula, right? So say mean by 360 degrees is equals to what? Pi over 180 times 360 is equals to what? 2 pi radians. 360 is equals to 2 pi radians.
But the formula over here says 180 over pi.
I am using this formula, degree to radians. I am saying what is 360 degree in radians. You can say 360 degree in radians, right? So 360 degrees is equals to pi over 180 times 360 is equals to 2 pi. So second question can be asked that what is pi radians?
Why don't we write the answer of 2 pi, which is like 6.282?
We can write it, but that's fine. don't have to write it, solve it more. So what is pi radians in degrees? What is pi radian in degrees? And for that we will use this formula. So pi radians is equals to what? So pi radians is equals to 180 divided by pi times pi is equals to 180. So I'm just saying this formula works, right? So we will now use this formula to find different degrees and radians. Are you guys ready? I can see you guys smiling, so you guys are very much excited and ready. So let's say, so we might use calculator to solve it, maybe, or maybe we just leave it, maybe we don't calculate it properly. So let's say what is 30 degrees to radians. We have to convert 30 degrees to radians. Okay, so what's the formula going to be here? This formula or this formula? This formula, right? You are correct.
Yes.
So we have to use this formula to convert 30 degrees to radians. We say 30 degrees is equals to pi over 180 times 30. And it's going to be this and 6. So it's like pi over 6. That's our answer is. 30 degrees is equals to pi over 6. We can find this in fractions, but I think this is good enough. So another question. What is 90 degrees? Maybe 90 degrees to radians. 90 degrees to radians. So you have to help me in this. So what formula I have to use?
The top one.
The top one. And what I have to do? 90 degrees?
90 degrees is equals to pi by 180 degrees multiplied by 90, which will be pi by 2.
So pi by 2. Yeah, pi by 2. And this pi by 2 is used so many times that we have to remember it. Pi by 2 is 90. And just without calculating, what will be 45 degrees? Pi by 4. Right? Because this is like this is like quarter of a circle. Right? And so half of the quarter is pi by 4. Because 45 is half of this thing. Right? 45 degrees is half of this thing. So this is, if this is 90, then half of this is pi by 4. And we can measure it out. So what is 45 degrees to radians? I am claiming that it's going to be pi by 4, right? But just check. So 45 is equals to pi
by
180 times 45. And basically, yes, 45 times 4 is 180. So it's going to be pi by 4. I was correct. Right? So now let's do some other examples to make our concepts crystal clear. In this example, we have, let's say, 3 pi by 4 radians, and we have to convert it into degrees. That's our goal. Convert 3 pi by 4 radians to degree. Right? Now, which formula are we going to use? The bottom one. And we can derive these formulas ourselves. So we use this formula. We can 3 pi by 4 radians is equals to 180 divided by pi, and x is this number. X is going to be 3 pi by 4. So we simplify this. So 4, maybe we use 2, is like 90. So 90 times 3 is going to be, pi goes with pi, and even 90 goes with 2. So it's like a 45. So it's going to be 45 times 3, which is equals to what?
135 degrees.
135 degrees, right? So I hope that you will be able to get the gist of it, and I will give you lots of exercises so you can master these formulas, right? Because in maths, the key point is that you can never learn maths by watching videos. You can never learn maths by reading books. How can you learn maths?
Practice.
Practice, practice, practice. So now let's do lots of questions. See you next time.